Hey everyone, hello. Welcome back, June 26th. And thank you guys for coming. We have another lovely house. So thanks for returning and coming back to Smartphone Theater. We have Act 2 tonight of A Guest of Honor. It's directed by me, Todd Felderstein. We have Mo Irvin, who's playing Des Bates, Scott Joplin, and DeYoung as Arlis Dodge, Elizabeth Rivera, and Lottie Joplin, and Jonathan ARKIN as Tom Bader and John Stark. To catch you guys up on where we left off, the sudden reappearance of a long-lost Scott Joplin opera, which has ignited a fierce competition for its possession. As Act 2 begins, the priceless opera score is hanging tenuously at a 10th story window over Manhattan's 58th Street, ready to be dropped.
May I?
Not till we talk about a split.
Tom?
You had nothing to do with the opera showing up. You wouldn't have even known about it if the auction house hadn't leaked it.
They did leak it, and I want my cut.
For doing nothing?
Nothing? What did you do? Go to the damn mailbox? My daddy, his daddy before him, and all the way back, we kept Joplin alive.
Can we discuss this when the opera is indoors? Thank you. Idiots. You are both winners. All you have to do is get out of each other's way. Des, can you help us with the music?
If it's any good.
If the auction house thinks it's worth 20 million, who cares if it's any good?
I do. If it's a masterpiece, 20 million is a bargain.
There's no way to know that.
There is if I can get a good look at it.
Well, it looks like a couple hundred pages. Can we copy it for Des?
No copies.
Just let me thumb through it.
Can you hear it?
It's a lot of singing and dancing.
What?
Nothing. It seems to have 4 parts. Okay.
Okay, what?
I think you might want to hear this.
How?
I could burn a piano version CD.
Perfect. Could you produce it too?
Need a backer.
He can produce it after the auction.
Tom.
And nothing is settled yet.
You got that right.
Are you upset with me?
I'm upset with the situation.
We had to bring him in. How else could we verify the opera?
And now that he's in, how long before his lawyer is in?
Does it matter? You're bulletproof. You have all the paperwork from the probate lawyer. Everything's in order.
You're forgetting Murphy's Law.
Okay, all right. Page 28. The violin should come in sooner, a little less strident. Also, I want to hear you and the banjo play with each other more. You know, have fun. 43, we need percussion. Maybe a tambourine. Anybody got one? We'll go get it. Take a break. See you back in 20 minutes. Looks like I got 2 guests of honor.
When I heard about this rehearsal, I had to stop by.
What are you 2 scheming up now?
And John was in town, so I invited him too.
Thought you moved to New York, Scott.
I bounce around.
What do you think?
I never realized how much hoop-de-doo there was in getting opera off the ground. When does this open?
3 weeks.
Oh, here in St. Louis?
Across the river up in Springfield.
Jesus, I can't believe this.
What?
New York. Ever heard of it?
Long way off. Springfield's right across the river.
Springfield is the asshole of Illinois. And St. Louis is a sow sinking in the mud. New York is built on granite. Spouting building on top of buildings, skyscrapers they call them. All kinds of music popping up too. Rag, blues, Tin Pan Alley. And the women, my God, those high yallers coming up from New Orleans.
Thank you, John. Would you excuse us?
Which way is the pissoir?
Have you found any backers?
Not any I can trust. You offering?
Not at this time.
Is there some other time?
When you have time for your daughter.
We already had it out on this.
That was before she was born.
Look, I know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
You're trying to drag me back? It's all I can do to get this operated. I got no time for anything else.
It's more important than your own flesh and blood?
This opera is my flesh and blood.
Oh, you two have a little tiff?
New York, indeed. And you call yourself a businessman?
What?
How many dancers did you see on that stage?
I don't know. Couple dozen?
30.
Okay, so?
30 dancers, plus the singers, the orchestra, the props, the insurance, plus the hall. Say 250 seats?
What's it come to?
Being real conservative, I'd say it'll cost him $800 a night.
Good God, that's getting up there.
Now, suppose God grants a miracle and it sells out for 6 weeks.
Oh.
What do you suppose he'd have to set his ticket prices at just to break even?
Here?
New York.
Oh, I don't know. Close to $1?
I make it $50.
Jesus. $50 for a theater seat? You could never get that, even in New York.
And he can't see that coming. He's so full of himself, he's like a runaway freight.
How are you going to stop that?
Well, only one way. Don't let him get up any steam.
Meaning what? Meaning what?
Hello?
Yes,
Hi. Got the CD?
right here.
Great. Come on up. Tom, he's here. We didn't expect results so soon.
Well, neither did I.
What's the verdict?
I'll let you tell me.
Now, before I can plug in the CD player, I have to unplug the hairdryer. Tom, tell Des how we met.
At the Delacorte last summer, concert in the park.
Which one?
The Phil was doing the 1812 overture.
I was in that one.
I don't remember a piano.
Percussion. The cannon guy's a buddy. He was sick. He called me.
When that cannon went off, the lady behind me spilled her drink down my back. It was Arlis.
So I was the Yenta.
If that hadn't happened, I would never have met Arlis. I would never have met you, and that opera would still be sitting undiscovered in that satchel.
Lucky us then.
So let's keep a good thing going.
Meaning what?
Look down the road. If there's any kind of disagreement between you and me and lawsuits and countersuits start flying around, no auction house will touch it, and neither of us will see a penny. Make sense?
So?
So, even though you haven't shown me anything that proves you're kin to Joplin,
I showed you all those letters.
you think they'd hold up in court? Anybody could have written them, including you.
Okay, do not fuck with me.
Now, hang on. I'm trying to concede you deserve some participation in this. And if you want to call yourself his great-great-grandson, fine. All I'm asking is, don't try to hold things up.
I don't want to hold things up.
Good. So name a number.
What, a buyout?
Why not?
How can I name a number if I don't know what the thing will bring?
Look, if I hadn't come to you in the first place, the number would be 0. But I came to you out of the blue in good faith.
You came to me with some bullshit about you being kin. You didn't say squat about the opera until I dragged it out of you.
I can see where this is going. Can I say something?
It isn't your concern.
Oh, I just provide the blandishments like some sporting house lady?
You have nothing at stake.
I have everything at stake. If this doesn't work out, it could poison the rest of your life and mine and Dez's. Now, Tom tells me that his father and your fathers found a way to get along. Can't you two do the same?
Do I play this damn CD or not?
Right after I pour some champagne.
Lottie, we got any whiskey?
A little early, even for you.
I got a star coming by.
John Stock, you can tell him I'm taking my bath right now.
And likes his whiskey.
He can like it somewhere else.
Don't be hard on the man. He's published a lot of my songs.
Cheated you every time, too.
Yeah.
What's it want?
Publish some more, maybe.
You didn't tell him?
Tell him what?
Get
Yo.
your,
Yeah. I forgot.
forget your head if it wasn't attached. And I'm not sure about that even.
Yo. Doors open.
Hello, Jopsy.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. How's the missus?
Lottie's fine. Won't be able to join us, though.
Oh, sorry to hear that. How are you?
Fine. What brings you by?
Oh, the very fact that I ain't seen much of you since you moved east.
Manhattan's a big place.
Oh, don't have to tell me. If it keeps growing like it has been, mark my words, by 1910, you won't be able to fit another soul on this island.
We're lucky we got here in time.
Remember I told you years ago that maple leaf rag would turn out to be an annuity?
Yeah, I remember.
Was I right or was I right?
Annuity for you, maybe.
And there was the chrysanthemum too, and the fig leaf rag, heliotrope bouquet, a whole string of them. It all adds up. Say, how'd that opera turn out? You ever put it up?
Once.
And? Oh, not so great, huh? Well, that opera business got to be tough. Whole damn music business is tough if you're not working with the right people. Am I right?
It's nice of you to come by and tell me that.
Thought I'd see what you've been up to. Anything I can look at?
No. Still in the middle of a lot of things.
You ain't publishing with somebody else, are you? Not that that ain't your right, mind you, but I figure I deserve first looks.
Doing our own publishing now.
Your own. You think this is a wise idea?
Lottie does.
Might have checked with me first. A lot of pitfalls in this business. Printers, brokers, jobbers, even the stores. They all out to cheat you.
Publishers too?
Well, you know I would never cheat you.
Well, I know you sure as hell never cheated yourself.
You and me go back a ways. Always been able to hash out our differences. Ain't that right?
Yep. But now it's you, me, and Lottie.
And she don't want to talk, I take it.
Nope.
Well, just so we can set the record straight, I never cheated you. In fact, I made you. If it wasn't for me, you'd still be working the river towns for meal money. And I hope the next time I come by, the missus won't be indisposed.
Okay, let the entertainment begin.
Okay. All right. Now listen, Joplin didn't write protest music. He just wrote music, right? He had to feel the anger, but he never knew if he just didn't want you to hear it. You know, he couldn't let it show.
Well, how do you do that?
I figured he wanted to hide the defiance and the humor. It's no easy trick. Starting out, the music seems to fit with Booker T getting his White House invitation. Listen. Part two. This is spit back from the rednecks whining about the mingling of the races. Part three, Teddy with a very firm hand telling the rednecks where they can put it.
It sounds like Solace from your CD.
Yeah, it's a tango. Like it? Barnes & Noble for $16.98.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Joplin may have lost the opera, but the music stayed in his head.
So in a way, it's actually been around for 100 years.
Hiding in plain sight.
You knew this when you first looked at the score.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say so?
Seemed too much of a coincidence. I had to think about it.
It shook you, I could tell.
I've had his ghost hanging over me all my life. When I touched that opera score, I'm telling you, I felt his hand on me.
Then who better than you to end the mystery?
No, keep the mystery. It'll boost the price.
I think just the opposite.
Yes, whoever bids on it will want to hear it.
Let them hear it after the auction.
Des, could you excuse us for a minute?
No. We're not going to have that quiet chat where you play the civil rights queen, defend him, and remind me who's been covering the rent for the past 2 months.
I think you two are going to have to slow down a little.
First the auction, then the music. That's it.
Not if we're in court.
I told you you'll get nowhere in court.
But that's where we'll be for maybe a year or two.
That's extortion.
Sue me.
No, there must be a way to work this out.
Voiceover.
Yeah, let's become a commune. Des, you move in. We'll be an Oreo with the vanilla on the outside, the chocolate in the middle.
But we put you in my, put me in your cookie.
Oh, that's it. I'm through with this asshole.
Tom, damn it. Des, I am sure that I can talk him out of the state he's in.
Yeah, well, you ain't gonna talk me out of the state I'm in. Why do you have to be in the middle all the goddamn time? Why couldn't you be the one to leave the room and let me convince him?
If I thought that would help, of course. But we're dealing with racism.
Racism? You think because you collect dolls and put that triangle on the wall, you know racism?
Tom's been fighting your involvement all along.
Because he's greedy. Simple enough. I don't like it, but I get it.
I think you're being naive. You of all people.
Of all people. And what people is that?
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Po dumb motherfucker can't make it unless the white alpha bitch jumps in.
I was only trying to help.
You want to help? Then stop putting up this triangle bullshit to show how liberal you are. You know, damn different than your slave trading great whoever the fuck he was.
Oh, you got to be the hungriest damn squirrel I've ever seen. Also the fattest. How'd you like a little peanut? Bought him over there at the exposition. Hey, little squirrel. What about that adjective, squirrely? What does that mean? I've been hearing that a lot lately. Hey. Oh, thought I'd find you here, Jopsy. It's John Stark from Sedalia and St. Louis.
John Starr.
That's me. How are you?
Fine.
I stopped by your place again. Was told you might be here in the park.
Light's better. Can't seem to get enough light in the house.
So how have you been? Are you still composing?
Yes.
What are you working on?
I can't say. It's bad luck.
Say, guess who I ran into last week? Beth, Elizabeth Rivera.
Beth.
Yeah, I was back in St. Louis closing up some of my affairs, ran into her, or she ran into me, came to see me.
So, Beth?
Heard I was living in New York, knew you was already here, figured we'd get together.
Beth.
Yeah, old Beth. We talked about the opera.
What's it?
Ditty she put together from the opera. Has the same 4 themes. She calls it a Mexican serenade. She played it for me. Good as anything you ever wrote, I think. Like to publish it. but I don't own it. She gave it to me to give to you. Said you can sell it to me.
I don't like this going behind my back.
Not going behind your back, sitting right here in front of you, making an offer.
You know I wrote this.
Yeah, I know.
Where did you say you got it?
From Beth, Elizabeth Rivera.
You know her?
You seen a doctor lately?
No.
You're looking a little peaked.
I'm fine.
Why don't you keep that? Think about what you want to do with it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Miss.
Stark.
Yeah.
My card? Look me up when you decide.
Audrey, nice of you to call. Well, thank you. I hope it happens for your sake as well. But it's like mediating the Civil War. How's everything from your end? Mm-hmm. Oh, listen, I have another call. Listen, I know this is going to happen. Let's stay in touch, okay? Okay, right, bye.
Tom, this is Phil at Arlington Properties. I guess your cell is off. So I'm calling the other number. That studio that I showed you to at the Village? Well, one even nicer has just opened up in Soho.
Hello?
Oh, hi. This must be Claire.
Claire.
Yeah, hi. That place in Soho Tom likes, it's available. Could you pass that message on?
Oh, wait, could you describe it for me?
Yes, it's a 2-bedroom and a den with a beautiful island kitchen, and out back, there's a patio deck that looks down on a flower garden courtyard. It's a lovely little sanctuary in the middle of Manhattan. Sound good?
I will definitely pass it on to him. Oh, I hate this hospital smell. How long has he been like this?
A month, maybe? Been having seizures, raving, all kinds of things, your name included. That's why I sent for you.
Is he married now?
Name's Lottie. Been taking care of him for the past few years.
Does she know I'm here?
No, wanted to sneak you in while there's still time.
Oh, is he still rotten?
Thinks he is.
Hey, Mr. Piano Man. Would you care for some lemonade? Tansy makes the very best lemonade. Yes. Hey, you have a daughter. Her name is Arlis. She's almost 10. Isn't she beautiful?
Oh, Summer.
Yeah.
How long's he got?
Too long. It's syphilis. I've seen a lot of this. He's in the first stage of hell.
Poor bastard.
It's gone to his brain and his spinal cord. Next comes pure torture.
There's nothing to be done?
I didn't say that.
Then what?
Leave us. Please.
Waiter, club soda. What's up?
We need to make a deal.
You tried that already.
We need to try harder. I mean, I need to try harder.
I'm listening.
I'll play it your way.
In what way is that?
You get the opera.
You just turn it over to me.
If we agree to split the hammer price 50-50.
What changed?
Black Lives Matter. It's good PR. If it's your opera, the hammer price will be higher.
I told you before, man, if it's my opera, it doesn't go to auction. It goes to the Scott Joplin Foundation.
You would walk away from all that money.
The foundation wouldn't. 20 mil could fund a lot of young composers.
And I would get nothing? Forget it.
Nothing is what you get if we're in court.
You're making it impossible for me.
I'm opening the door. You're a smart businessman. You need the right business.
What are you talking about?
Look, a lot of hot new talent out there. They need representation.
Me?
Switch from books to booking.
I know nothing about the music business.
It's like any other business, all about context. My specialty. I could steer a lot of young talent your way.
You really expect me to walk away from 20 mil?
Keep fighting me. The 20 mil is a mirage. Think about it.
Cemetery closes in 10 minutes, pal.
I hear you.
Family?
Friend.
Sorry, we got to close the gravesite.
He was a famous composer.
Yeah, who?
Scott Joplin.
Scott
Joplin.
Joplin. No, never heard of him.
Have you seen Des?
No,
Have you talked with him?
not today.
I'm worried.
Really? Well, I have good news.
What?
A new place is available
Really? Where?
in Soho. A studio in the village. 2 in a den, island kitchen, patio deck that looks down on a flower garden courtyard.
I'm sorry you had to hear that.
You too, Bill said. That means you plus someone else.
Arlis, let me talk.
Someone like Claire.
She's left her husband.
Oh, well, I understand then. No sense staying with plan B when plan A is still workable.
Please don't cheapen it.
When was I going to get the announcement?
There was no intent to deceive. You and I had our agreement.
What agreement?
We would give it 3 months before we made any commitments.
Commitments? Did you think this was all a pajama party? I reordered my whole life for you.
I am deeply sorry, really. This is painful for me too. I never dreamed she would walk out of her marriage.
But when she did, you were Johnny on the spot.
Look, I know you're hurting, but you have to believe if there were any way around this.
Stop.
I know it's a horrible situation, but the worst thing we can do is let it drag out.
I have no interest in dragging it out one more minute.
Then we need to talk about the opera. Whatever it brings at auction, you deserve a share of it.
I don't want any of it.
You say that now, but later on, when the auction is history, you're going to feel cheated.
No, I think I will feel relieved. You see, the last time this happened, my friends told me Mr. Wright was a bounty hunter. I didn't believe them till after I married him. So I promised myself I wouldn't let it happen again.
What happened?
So I moved to New York, found a matchbox apartment, took an intern job at an FM station, knowing that the very next man attracted to me wasn't after my money.
What money? For this dump?
The irony of it, we could have had any suite in the hotel.
What are you talking about?
I own the hotel. Yes, the slave money. Sorry, did I forget to mention that?
You deceiving bitch.
Oh, I can do worse than that.
What are you doing with that score?
Watch.
Oh, stay away from that window.
Perfect.
No,
10 floors up on a windy day.
stop.
Bon voyage!
No.
Yeah, Tom. What?
Thank you, everybody. Let me just hit a couple buttons here. Thank you, guys. This was really amazing. I have to let everybody know that for the last, I guess we've been working on this now 3 weeks, for the last 2 weeks, three and a half weeks, and it's been awesome. I know I say that a lot because I like what I do, but you fall in love with your cast, and these guys have been such a joy to work with. So I want to thank everybody, and John and Mo, come on out. So Mo, do I have to, oh, nope, you're good. So great. I just want to thank you guys. It's been an amazing pleasure. So it's just so much fun. Before we get started, I mean, obviously we have our chat. So if anybody in the audience out in our virtual world wants to chime in through the chat. And you could also, we prefer the chat. So, but we also you could also raise your hand. So there's a raise hand button somewhere. So you can certainly do that. Jonathan Levitt says, nice job. And you know what? I'm actually going to start it off here, and because, well, all you guys, this is the first time for all you guys doing this. So you want to share what it's been like to actually do a full length play, where we're separated over 2 weeks in 2 different places. Anybody can chime in? Mo, why don't you chime in?
It's an experience. Having to switch back and forth and really trying to figure out the technicality of it. I think that's one of the main issues, and something that we're all kind of learning how to do these days is the technicality of it all. But I think it's cool. It's an interesting situation to dive into. So, I think the more you do it, the better you get at it. And, it's just one of those things that we kind of all have to figure out as actors until things get back to normal. So,
right. Dave, what about you?
Well, it's difficult enough to go between parts, and and with such, where the transitions are right on top of another. So that, I think, which is a technical thing, but also in just the way it's written, it's it's challenging, because I kind of sometimes will go with Arlis, oh God, did I bring in Beth's accent, or and so it's and to try to get back into those characters. So it's but it's been a really, look, I think during this time we have to find any way to be creative and to, stay active within our passions. And that's what this is about.
Great. John?
I found the transition to be easier than I expected. I've been Zooming with my 5th graders. I've been on a long-term substitute teaching assignment, so everybody knows. So the Zoom platform I'm familiar with, but I thought that bringing the acting element into bringing Dave's words to life, all it was really, it was evocative for me of radio plays, and with just the added elements of video. So there is like a little bit of wardrobe change that you wouldn't have on the radio, but that's what it's the most like for me. And I can see this working, bringing actors together from all over the world, perhaps to do readings. I see this being used even more now, even when this pandemic is over.
Right. Dave, this is your second, I believe.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah. But now you have a full length play. So different experience, or how was it?
Well, as with any play, no matter of the technical challenges of Zoom, if you've got a cast, they'll get through it and they'll make it work. And this, I just have been pleased from beginning to end about my cast and my director.
Thanks.
A lot of patience is required and a lot of devotion to the words and a lot of back and forth, but that's how plays happen. And I'm happy with how it turned out.
Right, good. Here I've got Sharon Shane. She says, so very moved was I. The work just seemed seamless and glorious. So glad I could see the second act. The actors were so involved, so connected. I never felt like it was Zoom. Loved the play. And that's, that's great. I think Zoom is a funny word now. Now, in the beginning, it was exciting. And then all of a sudden it became, no, not Zoom. And now, now we're making it work. So we're sort of redefining it, which is great. Mitch Levine. Hello, Mitch Levine. Lisa Richards says, terrific. Thanks so much, Lisa Richards. Hello, Lisa. Mitch Levine, what a beautifully realized evocation of this wonderful play. Bravo to Todd, Dave, and the cast, and such a wonderfully imagined use of this technology to present real theater. Congratulations to all. Thank you, Mitch. Cindy Nelson, virtual theater, so enjoyable. Thank you. Jonathan Levitt, I thought the costume changes and character changes were very well done. Tom, great chemistry. It feels like this play is ready to be put up.
Yay.
Yeah. You never know.
I just want to say one other thing, which is I think it's really great to be able to collaborate, because as we were going along, things that wouldn't work or whatever, Dave was able to make changes. And so he got to hear his play, which is, I think, so valuable. And so I think that was really a fun part of it. It was to be able to collaborate and to be able to, see what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah, it's so true. This was, in a way, it felt like a workshop, and because there was a lot of development as it went on, and then also, but it was really, with you guys, it was at such a high level. So I couldn't have been more thrilled with everything that we did. So
well, I want to give a shout out to you too, Todd, because I've worked with you before, and your direction is sensitive and intelligent and informed and involved and wonderful. So it's a pleasure to bring Dave's words to life. It's what I live for. And then to work with a director like you is also a great pleasure. And with great actors, just elevates my game.
Yeah, I thank you. And really, it was such a great game. I mean, you do these and then you're like, okay, see you at the theater tomorrow. Let's do it again. And, that's what I'm itching to do. But
Act 3, Dave.
Act 3. Act 3.
The search for the manuscript.
Dr. Curry, tremendous undertaking, a great job. Would love to see a full length. Well, it was a full length. 2 acts. I know. I think, Sandra, you missed last week. So everybody just know that Act 2, what you saw tonight, it ultimately will be up on our website. And Act 1 is already there. So you're good to go. Yoko Narahashi. Loved watching you, Day, and wonderful to see Mo and Jonathan. Thank you so much to Todd and everyone. From way over in Tokyo.
She's in Tokyo. That's amazing. Thank you for tuning in, Yoko.
Oh,
Yoko, kyo wa
tuning in.
ii o tenki desu ne.
That's amazing. Thank you.
That's great. I do think you are conquering this format with more finesse every week. That's from Lisa Richards. Oh, Sandra said she watched last week. I mean, in a theater. She wants to see the full length in the theater. Jonathan Levitt, I agree. So here. That's terrific.
I just have one other thing to say. I know I'm talking a lot, but someone had asked me before, the way that Dave had written it, is it intended for 3 actors? And is it intended that we share these roles? Or were we doing it this way just because of Zoom? So I know the answer to that, but Dave, do you want to answer?
Well, I just thought that it'd be a plum for each actor if they could each play two characters. And I like the theatricality of it, as I was imagining it to be a fully staged production when I wrote the thing. But Zoom was up to the challenge, and so was the cast.
Yeah. So it's meant to be this way.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of transitions, just so everybody knows. I mean, really, the moments in between our scenes, I have never seen it, but I could only imagine what everybody was doing in order to go from one character to the next. So it was quite
Show in itself.
Yeah. That's good. Oh, here, Mitch has a big question. Where is the score? It must be found or collected off 58th Street.
I have it.
It's still in the wind.
It's still in the wind.
I got 2 pages. I got 2 pages of it.
Exactly. So
No, it's lost. It's been lost, really, truly, right, Dave?
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the true.
Still missing.
Yeah, the true story is that a guest of honor was never found. So it's still out in the world somewhere. Maybe a collector has it. Maybe it doesn't exist. Who knows for sure? But he followed it up with other operas. So very prolific. Todd, how satisfying is this for you directing on Zoom? Oh, thank you, Tom. Look, I love directing. Somebody asked me not too long ago, they were submitting scripts and they said, and we could bring in a director. And I said, if I could, I would direct every single one, but that's not my purpose for this. And I mean, for me, when I direct, I'm sort of in my happy place. So whether or not, Zoom is about, if I'm directing here, that's great, because we do the same thing. We break down the script and we break down lines. Obviously there's we're lacking the blocking aspect. But working with actors to me is one of my greatest joys. So that is, keep that going and I'm happy. Hopefully I'll be on a set or a stage sometime soon with these guys, which would be amazing, but I'm happy, I'm certainly happy. So thanks for the question. Okay. All right, good. We've kept most of our audience. It's 10 of. If anybody else has any questions, you can raise your hand or chat it in really quick. Otherwise, I'm going to say thank you to everybody, both to our house and to our fantastic cast and Dave. And, Michael Kavanaugh asks, so the story is based on is true. So the story is based on true. Is this a true story? So ultimately, it is fiction based on fact. So Dave, you wanna?
In 1901, Teddy Roosevelt invited Booker T. Washington to be his guest of honor at a White House dinner. And a lot of Southern spit back. The only black people on the White House should be butlers and stuff. And he said, just told him to stick it and invited him anyway. This inspired Scott Joplin to commemorate the occasion with his first opera. And he had one performance. Somebody stole the box office receipts. He couldn't pay the house, the singers, the orchestra, anybody. The whole thing collapsed and the opera score disappeared. And I thought, what if it shows up again? And that's what began this play.
Fantastic. So did you always love his music and you thought that you went looking for the story, or how did it come to you?
Well, I was fairly familiar with Scott Joplin. We've all seen The Sting and all that sort of thing. But I've looked into his music in more detail, and there's a lot of complexity to it that people don't appreciate. And the idea that Debussy and Stravinsky copied him and copied his syncopation, and that Irving Berlin may have swiped one of his songs. I thought that was a good tribute to him. Made me want to just do it all the more.
Even the romantic composers, I think either Brahms or Haydn adored ragtime. The ones who lived into the early 20th century. But it was so different than anything that they were writing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved playing Joplin when I was a kid. Fun to play.
John is also a piano player. So, We have a question, Mo. How do you compare this hybrid form of acting, theater, film, TV, to the other mediums?
Well, I mean, I think the obvious answer is that I can touch you on on stage. There's more of an interaction. You know, I think the computer screen and dealing with the technicalities of where to look, because with us now, even in auditions, having to do auditions on Zoom, it's really about where to look, what looks the most realistic, how's it gonna feel to the audience. So it's just the technicalities of not being able to actually look into somebody's eyes, actually be able to experience them, you know, in the flesh, I think is one of the main differences. But, you know, and having to, you know, move your cursor with your hand while you're trying to do all of this. So it's the technical aspect of it, I think, is what is probably the most difficult. But if you can still dig into the dialogue, it shouldn't make that much difference. I mean, the goal is to make you feel in the same way you would if you were sitting in the theater. So, you know, I think it takes a little bit more effort to do that, but the technicality for me, I think, is the main difference.
But we also discussed the idea at one point in one of our earlier rehearsals about this is film too. So you know, as actors, you know, theater, you don't have to bring it quite down as much. And so it was one of the questions I asked Todd. I said, you know, I feel like sometimes I'm overacting, you know, and because, you know, if I get too theatrical. So that it's something that is, it's kind of a hybrid between the two in a way.
It's a juggling act, you know, because you're saying your words, you're moving your hands, you're having to switch between clothes, and it really is a juggling act. And so, you know, on a stage, you have more time. If you're on set, you have more time in between. So it's really just that being able to kind of have it all in front of you and have all your props ready to go, and just, you know, you're just going a million miles an hour is what it feels like. For me, this was a first experience, so it was different for me, you know. But it's like I said earlier, I think the more you do it, the better, I suppose, I'll get at it, or any of us will get at it. To just
I wonder if when the online bookstores, the drama bookshops, are going to come out with, you know, little guides and little how-tos, how to succeed in Zoom at auditions and theater. I would call it the fifth wall.
Because it's like John said, I don't suspect this is going away. Even when everything comes back to normal, I think there's going to be some form of this left, because it worked.
Blended,
I mean, it was kind of a happy accident that worked. Right. So I think we'll see more of it to some degree.
And it's quite amazing that you can pull from Tokyo or Florida or across the country to experience this one experience. Is quite amazing.
Not only that, but I mean, all of us are in LA, but the reality is that you can cast from anywhere. So if you happen to be in London or in Tokyo, if you can stay up that late, then you can certainly dial in. So just John Solari. Thanks, John. He says, great work. Great to see you or hear from you. It's been a while. And then there was a question if you guys have your script online, or on your computer. I think everybody has the script on the computer. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the juggle is actually the screen and the computer. And the script.
There was a guy named Tony Verna. I worked with him. He was the man who invented the instant replay. And he was very innovative. He produced Live Aid and several other things. And I just wanted to mention him because he came up with the idea 15 years ago called Net Actors, where he could have a company of actors from all over the world act in a production like a podcast and make it was just, I don't think the platform was really available then. There was video conferencing, but I don't think it wasn't as advanced as it is now. But
Right.
he came up with that idea too 15 years ago. Net Actors was Tony Verna's, and he wanted me to run it.
Oh,
So I'd say he
Right.
passed away a few years ago, but he was a good friend and a brilliant man, very innovative.
Hmm.
and here we go. So Mitch says, yes, the last virtual piece he directed had cast members from New York, Chicago, and LA. The possibilities are endless. So that's so true. Yeah. All right, great. It's almost 6 o'clock here in LA. So I'm going to say, thanks for a wonderful play. Thanks for a great
Thanks
2
everybody
hours.
for coming and watching and
Yes,
hanging with us.
thank you for
Thank
being
you
with
so
us.
Much.
Okay. All right. And everybody else, we'll see you again next Friday at 5. And to you guys, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, the audience and this cast. And Dave, thank you for writing a wonderful play. And to
Thanks,
Scott
Dave.
Joplin. So thank you as well. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mo.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Night.
Good night from Los Angeles.